Good afternoon. As sure as everybody knows, today is September 11th, and it's the Jets' home opener against the, as they say, America's team, Dallas Cowboys. Today is a very solemn day, as it is the 10-year anniversary of the September 11th tragedy. And as you can see behind me, not only is the American flag or the New Jersey flag at half-mast, but all the flags are at half-mast today. Not only will I be going around and filming my documentary Gang Greed for the 4th consecutive season, but I will be getting people's thoughts, opinions, stories, recollections as to their remembrances, their experiences, and what they remember regarding September 11th. I'm sure as a lot of people had loved ones that were there, or they had friends, or in some way, just have some kind of memory regarding that day. So join us as we go around and get people's stories. I'm sure listening to their thoughts, their opinions, and their stories will make you remember where you were and what you did and how you feel regarding September 11th.
10 years ago, I was in 6th grade in middle school. At the time when I heard what was going on in New York City, I couldn't fathom it. I didn't actually picture planes crashing the towers. Until I got home, I watched the news. That's when I realized what was going on. I realized the world was changing forever. My father went to New York City to help to volunteer with other firefighters, the FDNY. The photos he brought back were catastrophic. The entire New York City, without its color, was all gray. And in my opinion, it looked like a volcano.
Because I was down in Washington, D.C. when the plane hit the Pentagon, so it means a lot to see the nation come together, unite as one, put all our differences aside, no matter it's financial or anything else, put us differences aside to come in one goal.
Like I said, it brings back a lot of memories and a lot of emotion. All firefighters, all police officers, Port Authority, we just do our job. We do what we're supposed to do, what we're trained to do. We don't worry about the consequences a lot of times. Just like all those 343 firefighters that went up those towers to rescue those people out of there, they were worried about rescuing the civilians, not themselves. We put other people's lives in front of ours, and that's our job.
10 years later, I can't believe it. It was like it was yesterday. We were the first business back to work. We went back 6 days later. They opened the floor. Mayor Giuliani, Hillary Clinton was there. We had a bunch of Governor Pataki was there. And we were the first business to get back going because they weren't going to stop us. We're in the commodities markets, we're traders, it's a big part of the world industry, and they weren't going to stop us from from our business and getting back to some semblance of normalcy. So, like I said, it's like it was yesterday. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I said the only thing that kept me from going there was that my wife was on a business trip, so I was babysitting my 1-year-old son. And I was out that day, and just twist of fate that I'm here today to commemorate this day and remember the friends that went down that day.
I was at work. I got a call from my wife at the time and let me know what happened, and it all kind of went downhill from there. Since then, I became a firefighter. I've been a proud firefighter now for 3 years on a volunteer basis in Walton, Connecticut. And as far as being here today, there's no place I'd rather be than in New Jersey, in the metro area, with the New York Jets, their fans, and everybody that suffered in this area. To just see the way the country's come around since that day, it's a great thing, and I'm proud to be American and proud to be a Jet fan.
I'm Gene Zaccato. 10 years ago, 9/11, I was flying from Newark Airport to Atlanta, Georgia. We landed in Georgia. We were parked on a tarmac for hours. It was announced to us 10 minutes after we had landed that both Twin Towers were on the ground. It was the worst day of our lives of the entire United States. It was terrible.
So 10 years later, what's the feeling now?
10 years later, the memory is still there as if it were yesterday, and emotions run high, and obviously as a country it was the worst day in the United States.
Now you're a different individual because you were on a plane that day.
I was on a plane. We had no knowledge of what happened until we landed. I guess we were close enough to our destination that they allowed us to land in Atlanta, Georgia.
And after you found out planes flew in there, I mean, what was your feeling like, you know, like, because you were on a plane almost at the same time?
The company that I worked for, plus my family, they were not sure exactly what plane went down that left from Newark Airport.
Right.
It was the plane that went down in Pennsylvania. Probably left something like 20 minutes before I had gone. So 20 minutes after I had gone. So, you know, there was a lot of anxiety in the family. People at our company wanted to make sure of my safety and what have you. Got downtown Atlanta, Georgia. Many hours later, like 6 hours later, there wasn't a soul walking in Atlanta, Georgia. It was like a scene from the Twilight Zone. It was just surreal.
We were over by my son's house in Hawley. We were working on a project of doing his front yard. He had a landscaper in there, and he was bringing in 40 truckloads of topsoil, and we were building retaining walls. And all of a sudden, he goes, "Hey, did you hear what's going on?" I said, "What are you talking about?" It was like 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever. Roughly. So he goes, "Go inside. I just got a message on my cell phone that something's going on in New York." So we run into his house. He turns on the TV, and he says, "Hey, an airplane crashed into the building." I says, and we all thought it was like an accident.
Right.
So we were over there, and then he comes back like 10 minutes later. He says, "Hey, an airplane crashed into the Pentagon." I said, "What?" So we go inside. We turn on the news channel. We're watching it, and as we're watching it, we saw another airplane crash into the second tower. And everybody goes, "Oh my God, this has got to be something different." So the rest of the day, we were sitting in front of that television watching what was going on. And it was the most horrifying thing. We just couldn't believe what we were seeing.
10 years ago, I tell you my experience. I wake up in the morning, I believe was caught up tonight, something like that in the morning. So I tried to turn my TV, see what's going on. All of a sudden I see no channels, everything was blacked out. So I started going channel 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 11, 15, finally channel 17 I believe. I saw that one of the big boards on fire. So they were saying there was a airplane crash into one of the stores, but they said it was an accident. They didn't say nothing about it was a terrorist attack or whatever. So I was looking and I was saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe it, you know, it was on fire." So and then about 5 minutes I was making my coffee also. And then I said I want to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom to wash me up. When I coming back, they already hit the North Tower. So what's going now? They're talking about something that's going on with a terrorist attack. And I always believe me, I was so sick. I used to start crying because I can't believe what they did to us. You know, when the North Tower was on fire and this. And I never saw the second plane to hit that. After that, you know, I see how it was going on. All this after 10 o'clock, I believe one tour would come down, and 10, 15 minutes later, they all went out. That was very serious. That was a very sad day of my life when I see that whole thing. That's what I can remember so far, but that was very emotional moments in my life to see somebody do to us. That's all I can tell you.
So what is it today, 10 years later? I mean, what is the feeling?
Same feeling. I can't forget that.
How you doing? John Peters, Bronx, New York. Actually, City Island, New York, which is the same part of the Bronx. But yeah, this has been quite an emotional day for the whole city, the whole country, for the whole world. But I want to say one thing about 9/11. Of course, losing loved ones has been really a quite difficult situation that we don't ever forget about. But I want to say about sports uplifting the city, uplifting the country, and serving as a distraction to what has happened is a really big deal. And I know from 2001, I was in college at the time, and the Yankees were in the World Series, and that was really an uplifting area for people to like distract themselves from what happened, but I know that's changed now, and we're on 10 years later, and now we're here for the Jets in a night game. I think in the same way, it still puts a smile on New Yorkers' faces, overseeing New York sports continue to play, perform, and realize that life goes on and continues future happiness. But we can't change what happened, but I can say that the future looks better, and my thoughts and prayers go out to everybody else that lost their loved ones in 2001. Cheers.
Saying that.
What branch of service are you in?
I'm a sailor in the United States Navy. September 11, 2001 was a tremendous tragedy for all of us. I remember that I was in history class when it all happened, and we got the day off of school, and for the next 2 days we did nothing but watch the television. My mom was crying, out of control. I was only 11, 12 years old when it happened, and even I knew everything that was going to happen, or everything that was happening at the time. And yeah, being a sailor in the United States Navy, especially on the USS New York, it's pretty much what we live for. Is a reminder to the world that we recovered. 10 years later, we come to the 9/11 commemoration. We're here, we're proud, America's proud, New York City's proud, and there's my blank right there.
Well, yeah.
I drew a blank.
What you just said before, that's 9/11 is the reason why you joined?
Actually, 9/11 is the reason I joined. I always had an urge for the military, but ever since 9/11, I was either determined to be a cop in the FBI or the U.S. military, and I decided to go to the Navy. And I don't know how, but they walked up to me one day and said, "You have orders to the USS New York," and I asked what the hell that was, and they said that it was the ship built out of the World Trade Center, 7.5 metric tons of it.
How'd that make you guys feel when you found out you were on the New York?
It was a proud feeling, like 24/7. Every time you go to work, you just know that you're on a ship that stands for something greater than yourself, greater than just a warship. It's a symbol for what happened on 9/11 in 2001, and it's something that we're proud to be on. Every time anyone runs into us, they're proud. It makes you feel like you're doing something better than just going to work every day. It gives meaning to our job. So.
And just so you know, faces have to be not on this to protect the innocent.
Exactly.
Today's game was interesting. Was able to get some words in, as you saw with some, military people, and civilians. Did approach certain other people in the military, some Army people, state police of New Jersey, even some fire people from New York, and some people did not want to give their stories. People didn't want to talk about 9/11. I guess some people still feel it's too close to home. Some of the things they may have witnessed or taken part in, family members, it's just something that they don't want to relive. For certain individuals that served in the military, it's almost as if they served during wartime and they don't want to talk about war. They don't want to talk about what they witnessed and what they experienced. So it seems that way for some individuals as well, which I do respect. I understand if people don't want to talk about it. I never pressed the issue. I didn't pursue them, and I didn't want to make anybody, feel like do it in that way. So, I hope everybody enjoyed the messages that they heard from people. Certain points, listening to it, I was like, wow. You expect one thing, and here you are, you're getting a completely different story. That totally opens up, and it makes you realize and see things you never saw before. It paints a picture in your mind that you never had. So today's September 11th remembrance is definitely one I'm going to take with me, not only because it's the 10th anniversary, but because it did it during a Jets game, and I always have a lot of memories when it comes to Jets home games, but today really spoke to me because of the people that we talked to, the people that we saw, and the message that everybody wanted to get across from their experience. So I hope you take it with you well, and hope your remembrance of 9/11 too remains in your heart.